Hello, folks. So, last time on the VCR, I covered the original 3 Winnie the Pooh featurettes. But there are a lot more Winnie the Poohs out there than that. In 1977, the 3 were spliced together into a full-length feature, with new animation linking them. There was also a 4th featurette made in the 1980s, A Day for Eeyore. Plus, there was also a children's show with actors in costumes, a Saturday morning TV show, The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and several other movies created in the decades that followed. However, the one I'm going to look at today is an odd one, to say the least, and not exactly an official one at that. In fact, it's only available on a bootleg. Yeah, you're not going to be seeing this on Disney Plus anytime soon. Heck, they had a hard enough time getting the Muppet Show on. Yeah, you're still missing that Brooke Shields episode, guys. Anyway, this is Apocalypse Pooh. And you're probably wondering, what in the heck is Apocalypse Pooh? Okay, so get this. In 1987, Todd Graham combined clips from Winnie the Pooh's featurettes with the famous Francis Ford Coppola movie. No, not that one, but that would have been hilarious. No, Apocalypse Now. So, if you're unfamiliar, here's a quick summary. Captain Willard, played by Martin Sheen, is sent on a secret mission by the American government through the Vietnam jungle during the war to assassinate Colonel Kurtz, played by Marlon Brando, who had gone insane. There's way more to the film than that, and Coppola throws so much insanity at you at once, it's hard to keep track. But it's a very well-made film, superbly acted, and very memorable. Be as that may, you're probably wondering, how on earth can that possibly sync up with Winnie the Pooh? Well, surprisingly, really well. Despite the film's politics, which can actually be viewed from both sides, the film is actually really good at showing memorable images and memorable lines. This is what Todd Graham was clearly taking advantage of. So Apocalypse Pooh opens the way Apocalypse Now opens, with a shot of the Vietnam jungle in slow motion getting napalmed. But instead of hearing the end by the doors, you hear the opening theme deep in the 100-acre woods. Then, you see Winnie the Pooh in front of the mirror doing his exercises. But instead of that audio, you hear Willard's narration. So in other words, every time you see Apocalypse Now, you hear Winnie the Pooh. Every time you see Winnie the Pooh, you hear Apocalypse Now. The task that Todd Graham totally pulled off was making these sync up perfectly. If you're as familiar with both these as I do, you can clearly see the seams, but if you're not as familiar, you do kind of wonder, wow, they actually work together pretty well. Probably one of the hardest things was picking the characters out. I admit I didn't really buy Dennis Hopper coming out of Piglet, but Duvall's voice coming out of Gopher totally nailed it. Above all, the most hilarious thing is hearing Eeyore's voice coming out of Brando's character. That just makes you laugh out loud. There's really nothing more to say about it, it is just a one-note joke. But again, it's a pretty good experiment to see what kind of character can sync up with another type of movie. It's fun, it's a game. Admittedly, this could appear like it's a bit controversial, what with it dealing the topic of a war, but it really is mostly just taking advantage of movie scenes. Memorable movie scenes at that. We've all quoted lines from Apocalypse Now, but I feel this is more just taking advantage of film industry. I myself saw Apocalypse Now in 1999 during its 20th anniversary release, and I was so impressed by the way it looked, I actually made my own animated version. All seriousness, one of our third in fact, animated features we created back in 1999 was a version of Apocalypse Now. You don't forget images like the characters coming out of the water or the people skiing on the boat. It's not trying to offend, nor is it trying to make a point, it's just trying to replicate a famous scene. If you're interested in film and film experimenting, then I would definitely check this out. Heck, I think Brad Jones should cover this on his DVD-R specials. A rating seems irrelevant for something like this, but if you're really interested in film experimentation, I would say check it out. Oh, and if anybody wants to see a version of mine, let me know in the comments. I would love to put it up if I could figure out a way through the legal rights.